Hey guys, welcome to the game Passpartout. It is an interesting game that I found on Steam, and it's quite fun, I will say. It brings out sort of like your Microsoft Paint artist, if you will. And I've played a little bit of it, and I figured, hey, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start a new game and check it out. So we'll go ahead and hit new career. Now, and yes, I'll go ahead and start a new game. Now, like I said, this is a pretty interesting game. It's really artsy, as you can see, like the curtains and the cardboard setting. Oh, Act 1, New Beginnings. So this is going to be a pretty interesting playthrough. I decided I'm going to go ahead and start this one level, which I've already started before, and which is it's a really good game. I'm just saying. But so as you can see, the character has kind of like a Geppetto look, almost like Pinocchio in a sense, because he's a wooden little dancing figure. And I think what I'm going to do this time is my first painting is going to be all blue. It's using all blue. And the reason being is I'm going to use the inspiration from when Pablo Picasso, earlier in his career, went through a blue era when he was visiting Paris, as you can see, because you can see the Eiffel Tower in the background, that we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some blue paintings. And the reason is that Pablo Picasso, back in the day, used a lot of blue painting during his blue period, hence the name blue period, where he took a lot of blue paints and he did his paintings. Now, he used the blue paint to emphasize the cold weather because during that time, Paris was going through an extremely unusual cold weather. And so it really affected his art and his interpretation of, how do I translate the cold weather into my paintings? So he used a lot of blue paint. And the interesting thing about this, I remember back in college that, when it came to blue paints at that time, a rare material called lapis lazuli was used in the paints. Now, the lapis lazuli translates to a lot of things. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I do remember it was quite expensive paint because in order for you to make your paint, you had to actually buy the materials to make the colors. So lapis lazuli was, a foreign material that you had to get, and basically just kind of, he would just mix it with his paint and he would come up with all these funky colors. But so it was probably up there, even though it was like his earlier paintings, it was probably the most expensive ones, the expensive route to take. So anyway, I'm going to do a lot of blue in this painting and to try to in honor of that era. Now, I'm no Pablo Picasso, but I'm going to start off with a kind of interesting color portrait and see how it turns out. I think I might do an elderly man because if I can remember correctly, Pablo Picasso did a painting of what seemed like a man in sort of like a flat, almost like in an apartment. And so I'm going to try to do something similar. I'm going to try a thin torso. He's going to be wearing somewhat of a gray, almost attire tunic. Maybe I'll add a scarf on him. I'm going to try to fix up his spine a little bit. But yeah, the game is very soothing. The music that plays and the kind of the flow of it, it's really calm and settling. I really like it. So there's a lot to be said to this game. Oh, okay, yeah. So I do want to mention that in this game, in order for you to actually make a living, you have to sell your paintings. So after every painting, you put it on display like I have here outside this garage. As you can tell, I am a starving artist. I live out of a garage and I sell paintings. But it's a pretty interesting way to go about it because you can paint some pretty interesting things. At the moment, you can do some basic techniques. As you can see, the only thing I have at the moment is my huge paintbrush, and you can adjust the widths of it using the scroll wheel. And I'm going to try to do the outline of these arms so you can tell that it doesn't blend with his torso. I'm really bad at this, so let's just see how it turns out. All right. Oh, okay. And so it's there's a couple other tools that you can unlock later on in the game, but you had to progress a little bit. So this is going to be pretty interesting. All right. So I'm gonna outline a little bit here, make kind of a scarf look. I'm thinking, it's looking pretty neat. I think let's see, what kind of other material am I going to try here? Okay. I think I kind of like the way that looks. So that's good. That's good. Alright, so fast forwarding here just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add some snowflakes in the background to break up the sort of empty space behind them. I would have called it negative space, but I realized that really negative space is just a white background or a unpainted canvas, But this is what I want to kind of. So he's just kind of sitting here with his legs together, his arms crossed, and he's thinking to himself. I wanted to say maybe he's thinking about, man, it's so freaking cold. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and put my signature on here, K26. But it's a huge signature, but nonetheless, I'm gonna put it on here. It's gonna be interesting. So once you're done with your painting, all you have to do is put it on display out here on these tables, and hopefully someone comes by and be like, oh, I really like that painting. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna call this the Blue Man. Is what I'm going to go with, in honor of Pablo Picasso. Although I don't remember the actual name of his first painting. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to put this on Twitter as well. So if you are following me on Twitter, check it out. You'll see my painting on there. And so that's what's cool about this, is that if you do a really good painting, you can be like, oh, I can just go put this on Twitter, and this everyone will know, hey, such and such is playing, Passpartout. So, check it out. So as you can see, since I let my painting out, a lot of spectators have come by. Now, let's see what this guy's gonna do. Ooh, okay. So you got a couple options here. If you do this, you can actually barter with him a little bit to sell your painting for more. And I went ahead and made some money off of that right away. So, and the money goes towards your register. But your register later pays for bills, food and wine, such as baguettes and wine, like I was saying. But so we're gonna do another blue painting. I think I want to do maybe 3 or 4 blue paintings before we move on to our other paintings. As you can see, here's the goth person. That person's a little hard to sell a painting, in my opinion, because they like more energetic paintings. So something with like huge diversity in colors. So I imagine they're not going to be interested in my blue paintings. So let's take a look and see what I can make out of this. Alright, so I think I came out with sort of like more of a blue whale with some barnacles underneath his chin and some barnacles on his tail. And I put up some bubbles around him, but I didn't want to do anything that sort of resembled the snowflakes like we did in the previous painting. So we'll go ahead and we'll put it in here. We'll call it the blue... There she blows. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice one. So I'm not gonna post this on Twitter. Like I said, I don't really want to spam my Twitter with random paintings. Although I might do that later one day, like in a cool kind of stream. So we'll go ahead and we'll make another painting real quick, as per usual, using all blue, because that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm really feeling a blue painting Pablo Picasso. I don't know. I keep ranting on about him over and over about this. So let's see. Maybe I'll do something that's a little dark, something a little gloomy. Something that's neat. Oh, we got another seller. Let's take a look here. 243. Went down in price. Let's see. Can I bring it back up? Yeah, 230. Okay, yeah. So I brought it up a little bit more. I was able to recover. You can kind of like work with them a little bit. So he bought the painting. That's good. So, like I said, I think I'm gonna do something a little gloomy here. All right, so I kind of went with what I think I'm going to do is a little bit of a nun standing over a grave, and I'm making a rose petal here, making a blue rose, if you will. Not exactly sure what she's mourning over, but or who it may be. But I think that's the mystery about a painting, is that it's up to your own interpretation what's going on in the painting. So I think this is pretty interesting. I like it. It's gloomy. It's dark. I would be pretty surprised if not the goth person, my mistake, if the punk rock looking guys would be interested in this. But like I said, they like more energetic paintings. So I can always just put this out here. I think I want to try maybe Blue Death. Yeah, because that's a little bit of it's a little grim, but I think it's fitting to a degree. So anyway, let's do another blue painting. Although I think I might just change it up and add some different colors here and there. Now, when it comes to the blue painting, it's not that I'm limited in any way to just the blue stuff, because you can still do white and black and gray. In some way, that kind of falls into the same line. So we're just gonna do a quick overlay of navy blue real quick. And as you saw, the punk rock person just was not interested in this. Alright, so stop me if you know what I'm thinking about, but there was this movie that came out a while back with Robert De Niro, and I think it was called Everybody is Fine, where in the movie he had what does this guy want? What does he want? Oh my gosh! Oh dang. Okay, yeah. Still, I sold it for a lot of money, so that's good. That's good. So anyway, like I was saying, so in this movie with Robert De Niro, the movie was called Everybody Was Fine. He had a son who was an artist, and his son was a not a famous artist. He was a starving artist in a sense. He hadn't made his fame yet. But the movie was a really sad movie. It didn't focus just on his son, but the main part of the story was driven by the fact of him looking for his son. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do my own interpretation or a reenactment of a painting from that movie where basically Robert De Niro's character used to make either phone pole lines or power lines for phone poles. You know what I'm trying to say. So those things that you see on the side of the road all the time. So I'm going to make one in the distance right here in the background. And all I'm going to do is going to take some cables and the best I can, which without using the pen tool because I don't have the pen tool yet. That's when you unlock in the next level. I'm going to try to make some swirling power lines. I think I should add some textures to this power line too to break it up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We'll add some like frost or what I would from an outside standpoint would say this could be snow or this could be the actual wood grain and then use a little bit of black to thin it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. That actually looks kind of neat. So let's hope I don't actually guff up on these power lines here in a sec. But yeah, so the movie is actually pretty interesting. It's really sad. I won't spoil anything, but it's a good movie. It's a good almost holiday movie. I couldn't remember if it was Christmas or if it was Thanksgiving. So let's work on these lines. So yeah, his son in the movie did a painting, sort of like an industrial art painting, where his son obviously had inspiration from his dad, from where he worked, because one of the famous quotes inside the movie, which I really, really like, is Robert De Niro is talking to his son, his son when he was much younger, and he asked his son, what do you want to be when you grow up? And his response was, I want to be a painter. And then Robert De Niro's like, no, you don't want to be a painter. Painters are the guys who paint the side of buildings and hobos come up and take a piss on it. You're going to be an artist. And so that left a huge imprint on his son. It's like, you know what? You're right, Dad. I'm not going to be a painter, which no insult to painters at all. But he wanted to let him know that there's a difference between a painter and an artist. Even though a painter can just go ahead and call himself a painter and still be an artist in a sense. But he wanted to let him know is that you have no limitations. You're not just limited to paint. That you're not just some guy painting on the side of a building, all one solitary color. You're actually doing an interpretation of emotions, something that drives people, something that stirs inside them. So I was always pretty interested in that, and that was like, that's an inspiring message. If I ever have kids, that's what I'm going to tell them. I'm going to be like, if they ever come to me like, I want to be a painter, that's always a good line to keep in the back pocket. It's like, no painter, and just move on from there. But yeah, I really kind of like the way this is turning out, so I think it's going to be really nice to throw out there for everyone to take a look at. Although maybe I should have posted this on Twitter, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with the way this turns out. With the way it turned out. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied, and my voice is a little hoarse, so it's a little bit harder to kind of keep things rolling off the tongue. But I think this was a pretty good painting. I honestly couldn't remember what the name of his son's painting was, but I think I might go with, I don't know what I really wanted, like gentle or blue or gloomy. Try to come up with some like different words to think of. Yeah, okay. We'll do gentle swingo or gentle. Yeah, swing is just fine. But all right, so we'll get back to the painting, and I think I got another idea I want to try out. As you can see, the punk kids are actually my greatest critics. They were just all over my paintings about stuff like this. But like I said, I know how they work. They just want really energetic paintings. So we're going to do a good layer of black. I want to make something dark. I want to make like sort of like a blue death now. I'm thinking of this because it's like I already did a blue death painting. Oh, that just sold for quite a bit. Man, that was awesome. Oh, love it. Oh, that was interesting. That's really going to help me out now. But yeah, I think I want to kind of do like a lively face or like a demon-like creature, and then kind of just go from there and just see what I'm feeling and just have like the shadows are covering him a little bit. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, so I decided to make like half the face kind of a skull, and I thought it would be kind of interesting, and I like the way how it turned out. Doing the little bold strokes of white and then going back in with black and kind of like half those strokes gives it a real scratchy look. And the skull came out kind of nice. It's not perfectly formed really with the other half of the face, but I think that's all right. So we'll do these little formed cracks of the skull, basically like what a newborn would have, or just any human would have them on them, but it's healed over time. Well, everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's the skull plates or whatever. I don't know the real medical term for it, but yeah, we'll add a little bit of detail to it, make it a little interesting. I think this is actually kind of cool. I like the way that skull turned out. I really did. In the half face, as you can see, I added a little bit of the red lipstick almost in the mouth. So that was my break out of like doing nothing but obviously blue. And then we're just gonna add a little bit of the grayish white. It comes out kind of funky looking. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back with the black paint again and thin those out a little bit more. See, it looks kind of funky and almost childish in a sense doing it like this, but by going back with this black, you could really make these little scratchy white lines, and it's like, ooh, it really adds like to it. Really makes it, I don't know what the word really is. It almost aged, almost like torn. It's kind of cool. I like it. I really like it. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like a real professional painter now, even though I'm terrible. I'm terrible in real life in painting, obviously. So. I really don't know. Ugh, dang, now I think about it, I'm not really good at anything artistic in a sense. So let's see if we can accommodate something to the other side of this. Ooh, so I gotta fix that. I don't want it to be connected to his face, or else it just looks like a giant balloon pimple on him. But alright, we'll break these up a little bit, see how it turns out. Wow, this painting turned out a lot scarier than I was expecting, but nonetheless, I'm happy with the way it turned out. So let's just see if we can try to figure out a name. No, I'm using the too much. Let's try Half Moon Man. Yeah, goodbye, Moon Man. I think that's good. I think that's pretty wild. What is this? Oh, he wants a lot for that. Heck, yeah, man, I'm gonna be making the dough in no time. This guy is like my best buyer. Oh, I got a critic coming up. Oh, so I gotta do the best painting I can. You know what was funny? The first time I did a playthrough and I had the critic come by, I didn't know he was coming, and I was doing this painting, and I did like a really clever looking painting, but then I got really frustrated, and I decided just to cover the whole thing in red paint. So then when I put it on display, that's when he came, and I was like, oh man, I really failed this. But he rated it pretty high, and I was like, oh, okay, he loved it, so that's cool. So I think the critic is just a for sure way into progressing into the game, so that's okay. Now let's see if we could try something interesting here. I'm not sure what I want to go with. I think I want to do like a bird. Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll do a red eye, and we'll do like this gray face. It's gonna be interesting. All right, so I went back to the kind of scratchy technique I used in the paint before to kind of give him a feathery look. So let's just go ahead and put this on display and see how it looks. We'll put it right here, and this should be the painting that the critic comes for. So this is gonna be wild and interesting. So I love it. I love it. Ice crow. That sounds good. Because one of my earlier works was the rainbow crow, which is a famous mythology. And oh, here he is. Here's the critic. Wow. He looks like the guy from Ratatouille, honestly. And he's like, dot, dot, dot. I see. Oh, and okay. And so that's everyone, like, especially that old man in the background, he's standing there, he's like, gasp. Oh, and here's the Daily Bagel. So, go ahead. I'm not going to butcher this anyway, because my voice sounds awful to my ears right now. It's just terrible. So I would just, if you would, just pause the video and read what he has to say. It's actually pretty interesting and familiar. So I'll be silent for a second. All right, so because of the critics' review on my painting, we're now able to move on to our new studio. Act 2, Pursuing the Craft. So with this, we unlocked a new area, which is a little bit more cozy than the garage, and we unlocked a new tool using the ink pen, which the ink pen is pretty good because what you can do is you can do smoother strokes now, which is easy because my other ones were looking very, very rough. So just to give an example, we'll go ahead and I'll show you the new paint tool. As you can see, we got the spray paint, which we didn't use in the last one. We unlocked it in the last level, but didn't really worry about it. So, but yeah, so this has been a really, really interesting game, little playthrough. I did Act 1, and I think next time I'll stream Act 2 and do some good paintings here and there. But we'll go ahead and we'll play around with this. I'll show you a little bit about what this is. So yeah, the spray paint you could do, this is good for backgrounds in my opinion. You could do like clouds and sky, ocean, and other things. And so let's go ahead and see. Here's the pen. The pen does this. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a smooth strokes. So you can make some really, really neat things with that. I like it. I'm not gonna save this painting, obviously. I'm just putting this down just to show you what it's like. But it's really cool. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in and checking this out. And if you're interested, and if you got any ideas for another stream or games to play, just send me a message, or even you know, hey, you know, what's the theme of the paintings need to be for next time? Because I can come up with some interesting stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. And if you really liked it, then just tune in next time. So see y'all later. All right, bye.